So, half-truths are the most trapping. The closer you get to the truth, the most trapping the half-truths can be. There's been some old energy games on Earth for a long time, for about 5 million years or so. There's been 18 civilizations, high civilizations on Earth that have come and gone. I'm going to talk about one of the oldest tricks in the book. It's still used because it's what works. The oldest soul trapping game around. The oldest way to trap souls. The easiest way to trap, control, energy drain souls. Now, if we're if we're powerful beings with unlimited energy, we are. The sun, every star, has basically unlimited energy. Now they burn out after 5 billion years, but the etheric energy levels, there's no need to eat in the astral heavens, and my heaven are many mansions. Like, you know, Jesus says, Masters say, you don't need energy to feed on. You have internal fountains of youth. You have internal eternals, the eternal internal, forever and ever, eternal life. Your chakras, your 7 temples, your 7 stars are eternal fountains that erupt from the 0 point. One of the oldest soul trapping games, the oldest soul trapping game around, is to get a soul to react to something. You bait them. It's what bullies do. Bullies will bait you. You're fat, you're ugly, your mama dresses you funny, right? You know? They will bait you. You're stupid, you're weak, you're a pussy, this type of thing. They will get you to react and be angry at them. But there's a twist to this. The half-truth is what traps us. So, the oldest soul-trapping game on Earth, and in this part of the galaxy, is to get people to be angry and against something. To be angry and against something. If you're against something, you're wanting to fight the war on drugs, the war on poverty, the war on cancer, the war on war. You want to war or be against something. You are feeding your energy against something. When people feed energy against each other, they create friction, literally fighting, that creates a lot of heat, a lot of energy that dissipates, that drains both sides, the divided and conquered game. So one of the oldest soul-trapping games on Earth is to get you so angry or so reactive or so traumatized that you become a crusader against something. You are against something instead of enjoying the natural fountains of the internal eternal in you. The internal eternal, your chakras, your heart, your energy centers, we all have them, call them what you want. You can feel your heart opening, you can feel your sexual glow energy, the energy moving. You can, if you're doing the inner body awakening, you're going to feel your whole body is full of light. If your eye be single, why does Master Jesus say that? If your eye be single, your whole body shall be full of light. Because we are light beings, we are full of light, potentially. But these fountains of eternal energy are being drained off of us. There are some beings that steal energy from other beings. Now, ultimately, it's just a game. So if they can get you to be angry at them, hate them, it's a great scene from the old movie of Ben-Hur with Charlton Heston, where he's a slave on a galleon ship, and he's so angry at the Roman centurions and the Roman boss, I forget what they call him, prelate or something, that comes by and whips him, and he shows him all this hatred at him, and the Roman prelate says to him, "Good, hate me. You'll survive longer and work for me better." So if you can get, the oldest game in the book to trap souls is to get them angry, traumatized, out for revenge. This is why masters say, you know, leave revenge to God's source, the universe, to the law of karma, to the law of reflection, to the mirroring of the universe, as within, so without. Oldest soul trapping game. I'm going to repeat it a bunch of times because this is one of the main ways that we've been divided and conquered and shut down and drained of energy. is to get you to be against something instead of just simply enjoying your own energy. You focus your energy on hating, fighting, warring, proving, battling, against things. Look at our government. It's 51 senators this way and 49 the other. It's perfectly divided and conquered. Satan is bored. The devils are bored. The ego, Lucifer, is bored. It's so easy to conquer humans, set them against each other. It's so easy, right? So if you can be tricked into being against something instead of just enjoying your own internal, eternal fountains of energy, then you are being drained of energy. Just like ants will have little aphids that they stroke, and then the aphids put out this liquid that they eat off of. Well, the liquid that's being put off of us is our Curlian photography, our etheric energies that we're being drained, harvested. We're being harvested by entities that want you to hate them, want you to be against them, want you to fight them. Right? So once we realize this, the oldest soul-trapping game is to get you triggered, traumatized, hurt enough that they can bleed energy off you. This is the Luciferian rebellion that instead of going directly to its own source, internal, kingdom of heaven within, feeding meditation, who am I, Ramana Maharshi, feeling your own Kundalini, your own Holy Ghost, your own power within you, and literally bathing in the enjoyment of that. Just being so full up, my cup runneth over. I'm so full of energy, like I'm a cloud bursting, I have to rain. Instead of that, you're being drained by fighting or having implants put in through trauma, whether it's sexual abuse or literal war trauma, chakra implants, in each energy center. They're like hooks. When we do ayahuasca retreats, you can see these energy darts or implants that are literally like hoses draining energy out of the life river of life. Your spinal column really tries to attach to your spinal column because that's the river of life. So if you can be tricked into being against things, fighting things, and especially fighting each other, then the puppet masters feed off of both sides and they drain that energy. Now here's the half-truth. Once you realize this, you try to become spiritual and say, well, I'll just not react. I'll just totally ignore that and stay in my peace and just avoid it, right? The problem is that's painting over old bad lead paint. If you have a house that's full of poisonous lead paint and you just paint over it, the poison is still there. If you have these energy hooks in you, if you have the trauma in you, you need to get the trauma out. Imagine swallowing 10 fish hooks, you got lined and it's sitting in your stomach. You can't just go, just leave them there and cover it up, but it's not going to work. You need to get them out. Or if you've got a bullet in your body, it can sit there and poison you with lead for years. You got to cut it open and go take it out. So these things in us need to be removed, healed, dissolved. Our energetic bodies. The inner body awakening will get you in touch with it. The alchemy energy process, a couple of years ago, the God Source said to me, just get practical tools to do the work for people, like ayahuasca, inner body awakening, the heart energy, alchemy energy process. These are practical tools because understanding it is one thing, that's standing under, but the inner standing, the overstanding, is knowing and doing the work. Knowing that your house is full of garbage is not the same as cleaning it up. Knowing that your body, your temple, your whole etheric system, your energy body is full of garbage is a step in the right direction. Instead of blaming and denying it on the world, blame is lame, you realize it's really in me, but that the realization is the first step. The actual dissolving of it, the allowing it to dissolve in you is what's going to heal you. Now here's the half-truth. You realize, I don't want to get mad and hooked in. I don't want to get hooked into their games. Got it. But if you haven't pulled these hooks out of yourself, you're still being hooked. You're just trying to cover it and avoid. Throwing your energy into the void. You're avoiding dealing with it. You're throwing it, avoiding it. You're throwing it into the deep, dark, void pit of hell, trying to get rid of it by denial. Lots of spiritual traditions, in fact most, this is what they try to do. Let's rise above it. Let's ascend from the lower chakras. You hear this theme. I talk about it a lot. So you have to actually feel the energy as whatever triggers you. Trust your triggers. You've heard me say that if you've watched some of my videos. Trust your triggers. Move the energy in you as the devil, Satan, who is the Democrats or the Republicans, or whatever you believe, right? Or the evil banksters, or the evil greedy oil companies, or whatever you believe, the evil ETs and aliens and the reptilians, whatever you think is evil. Let them trigger you. Your belief in evil is the measure of your ignorance, of your not knowing. The belief in evil, it's really just a game of light and shadow, ultimately, yes. Let it trigger you. Feel those feelings. Feel it. Face it. Face what triggers you. Feel it. Free it. Face it, feel it, free it. You know, little tag words to remember, right? Remind us, give us the new mind. So let yourself be triggered. Let your outrage come up. Be outraged. Get your rage out. Your rage needs to come out. Rage and terror are the two most suppressed judged things. We have nothing to fear but fear itself is actually a mechanism for completely denying fear. I changed that a little bit into we have nothing to fear, including fear itself. If you want oneness, you have to include it. Allow it its rightful place. Don't be afraid to feel fear. It's just a feeling. And the man, FDR, father of our country, was living a lie. His whole lower body was polio stricken. He was wheelchair bound. He would be carried around. That was the level of denying, avoid we were doing as a country back then. Pretending it's all good while the whole lower body is just so suppressed. So you can't avoid it. There's no way around it, but there's a way through it. So you need to feel it to heal it. Feel it to heal it. Get outraged. Feel the terror. Feel the fear. This is what, so it's not about, oh, I'm going to rise above it and cut it off. Like a wolf biting his paw off, I'm going to get away from it. Because that damages you. You need to undo the trap, the oldest soul trap. The oldest soul trap in the galaxy. The trap of getting you to get so angry that you're against something. Ooh, I got you hooked now. Good. Someone wants to pick a fight. Well, that's what the ego devil, whatever you want to call them, reptilians, denial spirits. They want to pick a fight with you because when you fight with them, they're going to enjoy the energy because they're going to drain you of energy. Now, you can do conscious role-playing of fights that can actually be fun, but it feels different. So you need to learn to discern this. So being hooked into the oldest soul-draining game is to get you to be against and fighting things. But that doesn't mean you suppress and avoid. It means you go, I know what's going on, but it's not about them, me to be angry at the outer. Don't be angry at the outer. Be interested in healing the inner in you. The outer, let it trigger you and go, ooh, interesting, I still have misaligned energies in my energy body. I want to heal those. Don't be outer focused, be inner focused. Heal yourself first, then all this stuff takes care of itself. So that's the key. Let yourself be triggered. Don't avoid, don't deny. Don't blame the outer because then you're feeding it. But notice what it triggers in you and go, interesting, I'm still triggerable by that. I'm still hookable by that. Some teachers will say, ooh, interesting, I found one. Go ahead, tell me how you perceive me. Give me a blanket, attack me full on. And let me see if there's any of that that's true. Because I'm interested in finding these little denial spots in myself. Yogananda tells a story of his guru teacher. A man breaks in and starts berating him. You fat gurus, you're parasites on society, blah, blah, blah. You need to get real jobs and all this, right? And Yogananda's about to throw him out because he was actually a bodybuilder. One of his nephews, the brother of Bikram, who started Bikram Yoga, Hot Yoga, I think his brother, was a huge, bodybuilder, master of the body. And Yogananda knew this. He was going to throw the guy out. And his master says, no. Let him spew. Let him talk. And afterwards he explained, Yogananda says, why'd you let him do that? He's just attacking you. He says, well, let people throw their hatred at you sometimes and then filter it consciously and go, is there any truth to that? 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 Be interested in healing yourself. Be at least as interested in what's happening on the inside. I would say be more interested. It's more fundamental as what's happening on the outside. So don't get caught in the game, the oldest soul-trapping game on Earth and in the galaxy, is to get you so angry, so triggered, so traumatized, so into fighting back and denial. You fight something, then you're playing their game on their field. And they're masters at draining you of energy. You go, you're triggering me. That's just energy inside me. This is the alchemy process that I came up with. The alchemy energy process. Ooh, that energy is triggered in me. It's just energy. Mother Nature has no judgment on energy, good or bad. We are the ones with the knowledge of good and evil. This is just energy moving in me. Let me convert, alchemize this energy back into useful or a good or a freed energy. Right? So let it actually serve to awaken you, the trials, the triggers. So, quick again. So what it's about, the oldest soul trapping game, the oldest soul cages, the oldest soul prison game, soul trapping game on Earth is to get you so angry that you fight them. But the half-truth is that then you suppress it and then they really got you. No, you need to get the hooks, the barbs, the triggers out of you. So let it work on your own inner. Take care of your inner self first. The bird flies with two wings. The inner, then the outer work. Do the inner first, then the outer. You got to do both. Otherwise you have a crash and burn bird or a crash and burn civilization of people being drained of their natural soul energies, which is, what's been going on. And luckily we're reawakening. Hope that makes some sense. Love you. More later.